Hi everyone, and welcome back to Homestead Road News. I'm your host, Devin Walton, and today we're diving into the latest real estate news from Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Florida. Now, all of these updates we give you are sourced from reports published in the last 7 days, so you're getting a fresh, accurate look at what's really shaping the market right now. This week brought a mix of shifting buyer behavior, rising homeowner costs, winter market surprises, and regional trends that matter, whether you're a buyer, seller, or investor. So let's jump right in. Our first topic today is coming to us right from Minnesota, where homeowners are now facing new pressure on property costs. Now, this week, a brand new report revealed that Minnesota homeowners are leaving 2025 with some rising costs in multiple avenues. The timing couldn't be more challenging. First of all, several counties released updated assessment projections showing year-over-year growth in taxable property values. That means homeowners should expect higher property tax bills in 2026, even if their homes haven't changed. For many families, this is totally unexpected, especially those whose incomes haven't necessarily increased at the same pace. Second, insurance premiums are also climbing. Insurers across the Midwest have been adjusting their pricing after multiple years of severe weather activity, including heavy hailstorms and early season or late season freezing events that is costing them dearly. Minnesota is no stranger, of course, to weather-related repairs, roof, siding, windows, water damage, and other concerns. And now carriers are pricing their risk assessment into their premiums. Third, utilities have quietly climbed as the infrastructure upgrades, fuel pricing, and regulatory changes add pressure to household budgets. Many Minnesota homes, particularly older ones, struggle with rising energy expenses during long winters. Taking that all together, these increases become more than just line items on a spreadsheet. They directly impact affordability, budgeting, and homeowners' decisions about whether to stay, renovate, downsize, or sell. For buyers, these rising costs shift their expectations. Buyers want homes that are insulated, updated, energy efficient. Why wouldn't they? They want newer roofs, updated mechanicals, and predictable monthly expenses. A home that reduces future operating costs for the next buyer becomes even more valuable. For sellers, this means preparation matters. The more your home communicates low-cost ownership, the stronger your market provision becomes. So, if rising home costs have you thinking about selling, head to homesteadroad.com. Get your free, no-obligation market and offer today. It only takes a minute. Our next topic involves buyers. Right here in Minnesota, they're becoming a lot more selective. So this week, Minnesota Market Update shows a clear trend. Buyers have become way more selective and more investigative in their decision to purchase a home. Part of this comes from interest rate fatigue. After nearly 2 years of higher rates, buyers have shifted from emotional decision-making to rational, numbers-driven decisions. They're analyzing everything carefully, from long-term maintenance costs to energy performance to potential assessment increases. Another factor is that the fear of missing out that defined the pandemic area market and years after that, that's finally going away. Buyers are no longer feeling the pressure they once did to waive home inspections or rush into offers without hours of investigation and consideration. They're taking their time, shopping around, walking away when a property doesn't feel quite right. This cautious approach has created a divide in the Minnesota market. Updated homes are selling quickly, often within days. Homes needing repairs or priced too high are simply sitting longer, sometimes weeks longer. And sellers really haven't anticipated that. They aren't used to that. In many cases, buyers are even prioritizing homes with new mechanicals like furnaces and AC units and water heaters over those other homes because they want predictable expenses. For the next several years, they should be right on. They're paying attention to insulation. They're paying attention to window quality, roofing condition, energy efficiency in many ways. And we have not seen that type of investigation and research happening in years. This shift focuses sellers to rethink their approach. The market's no longer about listing a home and hoping for multiple offers. It's about aligning condition, price, and presentation with what today's selective buyer expects. So make sure, sellers, you're consulting with a professional. When you want to sell your home, they're going to be able to relay what is selling in the marketplace. If you're finding these updates helpful, please don't forget to subscribe and follow Homestead Road News so you never miss out on weekly market breakdowns. Our next story involves our forecasting model and what does 25-26 look like? Well, Minnesota is entering a period of stability because a major Minnesota real estate forecast published just in the last few days points to a significant trend this way: stability. Instead of dramatic swings, Minnesota is expected to move through 25 and into early 26 with a predictable, modest change. Prices are slowing, steady growth, not declines, not spikes. Inventory increasing gradually, especially in mid-price segments. Buyer activity is consistent, but very cautious and investigative, as we've reported before. Market timing longer than 2020 and 2022, but shorter than late 23. Negotiations back on the table and trending upward, and you're going to be doing a lot more of it in the coming year. So one interesting insight from this week's forecast is the emphasis on long-term demographic stability. Minnesota continues to see stable job growth in healthcare, technology, logistics, and manufacturing. This supports steady demand for housing across the Twin Cities market and the surrounding counties. Another key point is that Minnesota's housing supply remains significantly behind long-term population needs, meaning even a modest increase in new construction won't be enough to fully align supply with demand. That imbalance creates a natural floor under housing prices. For sellers, the message is simple. The wild days of 21 won't return, but neither will the deep slowdowns of 23. The coming year is about a smart pricing model, strong presentation in the homes, and timing is more critical than ever. So if you want to understand what your home could sell for in the stabilizing Minnesota market, visit homesteadroad.com and get your free cash offer today. A new Wisconsin housing update released November 9th shows the state's market continues to hold steady, even as colder weather is arriving. Wisconsin is in a unique position compared to neighboring states. While some markets are cooling significantly during this winter transition, Wisconsin remains active thanks to a strong affordability and consistent flow of both in-state and out-of-state buyers. One highlight from this week's report is the continued strength of suburban and rural markets. Areas with good school systems, access to outdoor recreation, and moderate home prices have seen steady sales. They show activity even into November as we head into the holiday season. This report also noted that inventory remains balanced. There's neither a glut of homes nor a severe shortage, which creates stable pricing. This stability gives sellers confidence that listing their homes later in the year, like late November, even into December, gives them confidence that they're still in a good market and their price is holding firm, while buyers have the confidence that those prices are not jumping around and fluctuating dramatically. Another interesting observation is Wisconsin's rental market is remaining tight, pushing some renters into the buyer's market, making them want to purchase even during the late fall and early winter. This adds demand that many markets lack at this time of year. Normally, we go into a dormancy this quarter and everybody waits for the spring market, but there's a fear that the spring market could explode, so maybe we should look now. And that's exactly what Wisconsin is feeling. They're continuing to outperform traditional seasonal patterns. So if you want more weekly housing updates like this one, don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow Homestead Road. News across all platforms for you. Florida's newest housing update, released this week, shows that the state remains firmly in a two-track market. Let's talk about it. So first of all, there's a mid-market. Homes priced in the typical range for most Florida residents are now taking 98 days to go under contract. That's more than 3 months and significantly longer than the national average. Why? There are several factors involved here. Insurance premiums remain high. Many homeowners in Florida are seeing substantial increases due to storm risk. 2, property taxes continue rising, especially in coastal communities with population growth. 3, maintenance costs remain high and are going higher. Florida homes face humidity, salt exposure, storm, and heat, all of which wear down systems in a home. And 4, investors are pulling back a little bit. They've slowed their purchases due to increased carrying costs. Meanwhile, Florida's luxury market, the second track, is moving in the opposite direction. High-end coastal homes are still attracting buyers with cash. Relocation incentives or strong lifestyle preferences are also part of those demographic buyers. Wealthy buyers are less sensitive to the costs affecting these mid-market shoppers. This duality, slow mid-market and strong luxury, creates confusion for sellers which don't know where they fit. The weekly report emphasized that knowing your category is essential for pricing correctly. If you're selling a home in the Tampa area market and you want clarity in today's two-track market, head over to homesteadroad.com and get your free no-pressure offer right now. Well, that's a wrap on this week's expanded edition of Homestead Road News. All of today's updates were taken from reports published in the last 7 days, so we're giving you the freshest and most accurate look at what's happening across Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Florida. If any of today's insights relate to your home or your future plans or your experience in real estate, Homestead Road is ready to help you better understand your options. I'm Devin Walton. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next week.